Do you ever ask yourself, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? Or, where's the satisfaction in the work that I do? Or, gee, why am I here anyway? If you've ever asked those questions, you're in the right place. Stay with us for the next 30 minutes as we consider some of the most profound ideas that can impact your health and your life. Join us as we consider why health is so much more than health care.
Welcome to Health is More Than Healthcare with Greg Anderson. Join us for a fascinating exploration of the complete definition of health and well-being. It's all about our role as active participants in our health and what we can do to get well and stay well. Now, meet our guide and coach, Greg Anderson, 24-year survivor of stage 4 lung cancer, best-selling author of 11 books, and founder of the Cancer Recovery Foundation group of charities. He's an international award-winning authority on wellness who practices what he preaches. Please welcome Greg Anderson.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here with you. It's an honor to have you here today, and I mean that sincerely. We welcome you with open arms. I want to say a couple things about this whole series, and I want to speak particularly at this point to our audience at home. We welcome you, but I have a particular request, and that is, don't listen to me. Think with me. And it's the same for all of us here. You're joining a program in which we are dedicated to a quest, not only towards better health, but also towards a better life. And that's what this is about. So I want us to think seriously. This is more than just being entertained. I want us to think seriously about the issues that we present here today. And we're going to focus today on vocational wellness, something more than a job, but a sense of meaning and purpose. I always like to get started with something a little bit humorous. I was recently told about this neurosurgeon who on a Sunday morning goes into his brand new bathroom and sees a leak coming from the sink. Panic. He's got a beautiful home. I've got to do something about this right now. On the phone, he calls the plumber and he said, "You've got to come out here right now. I've got a leak. I just don't want this thing to burst. Come right now." The plumber says, "Well, you must know that on a Sunday, the charges are much higher." "Okay, don't worry. Come right now." The plumber came. He walked up to the bathroom. He took a look, took out one little wrench, and he made just a quarter of a turn. It's fixed, and the leak was done. He stepped back and he wrote out the bill and handed it to the neurosurgeon. He said, "Here's your bill." $500? You didn't even spend 5 minutes on this. $500? Why? I'm a neurosurgeon. I don't even charge that for 5 minutes work. And the plumber said, "I know. I couldn't charge that much when I was a neurosurgeon either." Vocation. I come to this work, to this vocation, out of pure personal need. I am a 24-year survivor of a 30-day-to-live lung cancer diagnosis, and I feel like I'm the most blessed and grateful person on the earth, just to be alive. And so many of the lessons that have been learned along the way, they really transcend traditional health care, and that's what we're trying to get to today. Health really is much more than health care. And we over the years, we've had interviews with over 16,000 survivors of terminal illnesses. And these are the people who have lived, even though all medical authorities said there's no chance. And these lessons have been, we've categorized these over the years, and it's been surveys and interviews and all sorts of ways of tracking this. And we've categorized this into what we call our wellness pyramid. And I just want us to start here by looking at that very briefly. Health is much more than medicine. Now, you'll see right at the top of the pyramid, there's physical wellness, and there's no question all that we say is in addition to, not in place of, conventional medicine. Is that clear? You know, that's an important point. But in addition to that, there's so much more. Nutrition, we've covered that. And the whole issue of what we call whites out, colors in, you know, and a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. The whole issue in terms of social wellness. This has to do with our relationships. And then the idea of attitudinal wellness and how that leads to the mind-body connection. That's very important. And then today, at this segment, we're going to cover our vocational wellness, beyond job to a sense of meaning and purpose. And it's all undergirded. The whole foundation is with spiritual wellness. This isn't something that we made up. It came out of 16,000 plus interviews from people who had been told there was no hope. And I think there's a profound message for all of us in here. You know, I summarize this very quickly with this rope. You see this yellow rope around here, and I've shared this time and time again. This is a symbol of a seminar I was at, and the seminar was taught by a tightrope walker, an aerial artist he preferred to be called, and he talked about focus. He said the whole issue of walking the rope successfully is to focus just on the next segment of the rope. All of your focus. Don't think of the ground. Don't think of the people around you. Don't think of the air temperature or the breeze or anything. Focus on the rope. What does that have to do with health care? A lot. Here's my challenge to you. The focus, the perspective is really this. Much of health care is focused on illness. It's focused on trying to discover what is wrong and then putting a treatment program into place to somehow or another help that. I want you to do that. Don't misunderstand that part. But more than that, I want you to put your focus on creating wellness. It is not enough just to treat illness. Creating wellness, and as we look at the pyramid again and again, there's our roadmap. And so the message really is, I want you to make the shift in your belief system, in your understanding of what health is. It's much more than just going to a doctor and saying, fix me. Yeah, this is all about really taking primary responsibility for our own health and our own lives. Well, today we're going to talk about this idea of vocational wellness, and I'd say just a few thoughts on this subject. This comes from a book I wrote several years ago called Living Life on Purpose. I say in there, the 2 greatest days of your life. What do you think those are? Some would say, I've had people say, well, it's my anniversary. Oh, the day I got married, or the day I got the promotion. Oh my, that was a big thing. Or the day I was able to have a title behind my name. Now I'm MD, PhD, all that was a great day. I would submit to you that the 2 greatest days of your life are the day that you were born. That was a good day. And the second one is the day you discover why. Once one discovers why, that is, discovers their mission, if you will, their vocation, one always has a North Star to turn to. That's an important point. You know, so often people come to us and they say, well, you know, I don't understand. Now I've been struggling all my life, and now I have to we deal with just thousands of cancer patients. Now we've got to deal with cancer. It just seems all so confusing. And, you know, and many times we'll say, well, what do you perceive your mission to be? What do you perceive to be the reason that you're here on this earth at this time? I would submit that there is a simple little formula that can help you in understanding this. And let's go through this. I think it starts with a sense of vision. Vision. Some would say a dream. I'm comfortable with that. You know, do you have a dream? Do you have a vision in your life on, gee, this is what I ought to be doing. This would bring me deep peace and satisfaction. It would make me happy beyond compare. That's the vision. I would add to this formula a plus sign at this point. Vision plus service. Service. I can only tell you that, for years I've studied not only what makes people well, but as part of that, I've studied the whole idea of what makes people happy, what gives them a sense of fulfillment, of wellness beyond just how's your blood pressure and, what's your cholesterol count. Yeah. And time again, this idea of service to others comes up. As a matter of fact, I'll go so far as to say the whole issue of getting beyond oneself is central to finding vocation. Others, it's that wonderful focus on others. Doesn't mean that we somehow or another neglect our own needs, but the idea of service to others is central to having that sense of vocational wellness. So let's look at the formula so far. Vision plus service. Now I'm going to put in there a times. Now if you're a mathematician, that means more than plus. Yeah? That means times passion. Passion. Now I mean this passion in a very specific way. This is what you are passionate about. I think one of the things that I like to ask people, what is it that when you're doing it, you lose all track of time? What might that be? I've had answers all over the board. I can remember one man said, well, when I sleep, I lose all track of time. That's not a mission. That is not a mission. The idea of, just being involved in something that is outside ourselves, and it's like, this is such a pleasure. Where did the morning go? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is important to understanding this idea of vocational well-being. Vision plus service times, and I say times in there, times passion, because it's like passion is it's the energy behind it. When the going gets rough, when the seas get choppy, passion is the thing that keeps people going. And having this sense of what we're here for keeps you pointed on towards that North Star. Vision plus service times passion, it equals mission. Now, I don't know about you, but I believe we're not here by accident. I believe we're here for a reason. And believe it or not, in my own case, I think it took near death from cancer in order to get my attention to do so. And when I finally was able to pay attention, I understand better and better that my mission is to do everything I can to help the next person who's faced with this illness. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know what your mission is. It's different for all of us. But I do suggest that the essence of finding it is right there. What's your vision? What's your dream? There's one for every individual in this room. Vision plus service, serving others, times passion. What is it that you just love to do? And it all equals the idea of mission. Well, we have a couple of guests with us today that I'm just so pleased that two people are with us here today that we want to hear from. Reverend Michael Gingrich. Mike, would you come up here? Would you greet Mike as he comes up? Mike, thank you. Mike and I work together and have literally traveled the world with this message. And Mike is a United Methodist minister and also our Director of Program Services at Cancer Recovery Foundation. Fascinating story. And Mike, I just share from your heart here.
I will. One of the things that I love to do is act. And a few years ago, I had the privilege of being cast in an historical play. It was a great amount of fun planning for it and being part of it, practicing, until 2 nights before the opening night. We got on the stage for the first time where the play was going to have its run. And I was supposed to walk out onto a dark stage, my first appearance on the stage, walk out from the dark into a bright, shining spotlight. And I did. But when I got into the spotlight that night, having to stand at the edge of the stage, I was blinded. I couldn't see a thing. And my part required me to move around and to walk, and as I talked to people. And I remember being petrified because I knew that because I couldn't see the edge of the stage, I was going to fall off because I just was blinded, couldn't see. And so my performance brought me no joy because I was afraid. After the practice, I went to the director and told him of my concern and my fear. And this is what he said to me, and I'll never forget it. Whatever you do, just walk into the light. Stay in the light. Don't leave the light, and you'll be okay. He said, we know where the edge of the stage is. We will not guide you off of it. If you just stay in the light, follow it, you won't fall. And that's what I did. And I was fine. The analogy here is, I think, that all of us are bathed in light. We have all been given a light within us and around us that that is supposed to warm us and show us the way and help us. And as long as we stay in the light, we will be fine. And what's that light? That light is our connection to God. God shines a light on us. It's the light of other people in our lives who bring us joy and who love us and who we love. That light is when we discover our gifts within our own hearts and within our own souls, within our own selves, knowing who we are, what our passions are, what brings us joy. That's light. And when you are able to be bathed in that light, it doesn't matter what darkness surrounds you or confronts you. It doesn't matter what edges you walk up to, because when you're in the light, you will not fall, and you will be shown the way. So I encourage you, I challenge you to think about the light that is in your life. What is it? What are the things? Who are the people who give you joy and passion and hope and love and a reason for living, who give you energy, who make you happy? I challenge you to know who those people are and what those things are about others, about yourself. And when you do, you will be doing what you've been created to do and to be. Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much. Walking in the light. Thank you. Thank you. Walking in the light. Isn't that wonderful? Walking in the light of your mission. Understanding all those things coming together. Staying on track. Seeing that as your North Star. Walking in the light. Deborah Heisley Cato. Also a Methodist pastor and a supervising pastor, a district superintendent. When you start listening to the vocational part of wellness, of health care, when you start seeing this, what can we see our job as ministry? What would you have us know?
I find that my job is much more than a job, and even more than a vocation, it's a calling from God. And I believe that God has a calling for each of us. It might not be an established ministry, but whatever we are doing, we can be in ministry, and we can be in service to others. One of my particular joys is to be a part of something that is bigger than myself. I find myself to be a part of a worldwide family of people who are working to make this world a better place and helping people to be whole. In other words, what God would want them to be. One of my particular gifts is the gift of listening. And I really enjoy sitting across from someone, looking them in the eye, face to face, and listening. There's a premium on that in our world. There's very little listening. And so if I can listen to someone, it honors them. And sometimes just the act of being listened to helps us to find that inner light and the wisdom that each of us carry as a gift from God. And only after I have listened then do I feel that I have the right and privilege to share some of the wisdom that I have gained over my years of living. As a survivor of cancer myself, 10 years now, this is a celebration year for me.
We celebrate with you,
Thank
by the way.
you.
You bet.
Thank you. I have to say that I bring some gifts from that time of cancer. And one of the things that I decided was that since my calling gives me such joy, I wasn't going to stop working. I wasn't able to work on the same schedule that I had been before I was in the midst of a year of chemotherapy and radiation and reconstructive surgery, but I was able to do something. And so it was important to me to do what I could with the time that I had. As a part of that, I learned that the most important part of my day was the time in the morning that I spent with God in prayer and asking God, with this very limited amount of time that I have today and energy, what is the best thing that I can do with it? And I've carried that with me. And I still know that my time is limited, and the time I have on this earth is limited. And so I want to use it in the best way I can so that I can leave as much goodness behind for those who come after me.
Oh, my. Well said. You articulate that so powerfully. You really do. You know, wow, there's lessons in there for all of us. All of us to, you know, in a real sense, this idea of leaving this world a better place. That's a shared mission for all of us. You know, so my hope is that you really do believe that. We ask for some email questions from actually around the globe. There are people knowing that we're taping this, and one of the questions most questions had to do with vocational well-being. This one comes from France. I can't make a living pursuing my passion. What do I do? Who would care to take the mic? You're smiling. You're elected.
We all know we have to do practical things in order to live and to pay the bills, and that's important. But it's just as vital to spend time, to make time every day, to do something that does bring you joy, that is part of your passion, whatever it is, to connect with the people, to do the things that make you smile, that relax you, that fill you up, that give you energy. You can still do it even if it's not your job. There's so many other ways that you can do things to fill your soul and to be of service to others.
That's an interesting answer. You know, make time. You're saying no matter, if you have to work another job, make time for your...
You have a choice.
Yeah.
You have a choice, and you can do that.
There was another one, this one from our German affiliates. I turn to you, Deborah. I'm going to school. I don't see how that's quite of service to others. Any comments on that one?
Yes, I think that sometimes what we are doing prepares us for a greater service later. And so school becomes the thing that we can do so that we can be prepared to give more. But there is also a great joy in learning. And in the midst of that, in being in relationship to others and in sharing with others, there's a deep joy that comes in those kind of relationships.
That's wonderful. Deep joy. That's my wish for all of us, is at the end of the day that we're able to sit back and reflect and think, this has just been a joyous occasion. My dear wife, who's with us, where is she? Over here. She has a wonderful saying. She says, "Today is the best day of my life." Isn't that a marvelous affirmation? It really is. Today is the best day of my life. Now, it's true for all of us. It's the only day we have. And that's part of being well vocationally. So, what did we learn from this session? I just encourage you to rethink the idea of a job. Elevate your thinking. Think of a vocation. think of the vision that you have for the life that you wish to live, and think of the plus service, serving others making the center of it, times the passion. What do I just love to do? And then it all ends up equaling mission. So there's our encouragement to you, and I hope you can make that real in your own life. You know, we never like to close without offering you a way to respond to all this. If you'll look at the toll-free number on the screen right now, or the website that's there, contact us. There's just a myriad of resources there for you. We're here for you, and if you'll give us the next year of your life, we think you'll change, and you'll change for the better and understand why health is much more than just health care. Thank you, everybody. It's great to be with you.